These are weedies called hoop. This is quite difficult trying to agriculture for old farmers now. According to a power tiller, it is now tilths for next rounds of these agriculture times. Now we need to control of this with first of all before sowing sprout rice in waters. Now it is the time for sowing years of agriculture of Kumbi areas now. These weeds are so much important how to control over this. When heavy rainfall during times, it is more weeds against than before that. We cannot control this easily. That's why we need now how to do in others of these maintenance of that of these agriculture of most farmers quite difficult now. We try again and again, but so many times to requires to plow for these weeds. And one thing we noted now, this is how to control over that. Whether cutting either instead of this pick up that we cannot do easily. Once we show sprout rice that will be overcomes all the plants of this rice. That's why 2 times of these fields against plowings now for controls about this which called hoop. This is whatsoever we need hard labors for maintenance of this field now. Using the power tillers that try to uproot of these plants. In that of this wet of this muddy, now we drill and so many ways of this advice of the other agriculture department we need to take from them. And one thing we know that now this weed is some things we control over, but now this corner of this terrace more numbers of these plants, these plants called hoop is grown in short-rain days. This is a quite problem for our agriculture during the summer's time. We need to plow. Without it, we cannot control over. Now, according to these problems of this, now we try to plow our plain, but a lot of money is expended for this because of this now. So many rounds of these tillings by power tillers that money will be expended and the soil will be lost. And not to lose so many times of these tillings is all the problems of this. Our soil could not lose, and we try to do for this because of this reason again. And really well authorities and the other type of the agriculture of other states or countries quite different from our Kumbi areas. Now this is after controlling stats by these power tillers. Whenever to plow this that it seems to lose some things. But problems is that once in the sun shines, it may be dries either that of this rotal sums of the remaining, it will grow again. These problems of the solving methods is that harrow either stats of this other type of agriculture tractor implement will be required now. Power tillers instead of this we need others which to control of these kinds of implements, lights, harrow, either steps of this other type of this tractor plow share will be required to apply for that of this control over, trying to control over this with so many rounds of these plowings also soil loss and not happening that not part time it will be barrel so many times of these plowings 2 times or 3 times, but problems of this with we use weedy during this time after that of the short periods also we may effects to our sport rise of that. It is being prepared according to that of the wet sowings of agriculture type of Kumbi areas. Now in others of this proper maintenance for this our field, and one thing we know that now either hand pick either step of this other type of this tractors we requires to hire, but problems of this all farmers are poor because of that money will expense a lot of this. That's why such a difficult of these farmers diet that type of this with control, and we will use others type of these engines also we can control of this with, but remaining some of the fragments of this hope it goes again. In order to do that way, how we need to do that once, and according to that of the advice of this agriculture departments, we need to agriculture our field in order of this more crop productions in Kumbi area, and most of this importance of these farmers life is that at the times of this primary stage of this plowing and the sowing systems of this, it should be selected in others of the well sprout, well germinations. For that, because of this, many farmers are very busy for trying to that of the agriculture ways of this. So many amounts not to expenditure wetzones are very important for sprouting that rise of that after winnowing either step of this, removing some of these sap in waters, and then after this we need again to soak in waters to dip that some bags according to that of the acres, 2 acres or 1 acres of this bag. And after germinations, I mean that to sprout this very well, we need again to throw in the muddy waters. Then it grows after some days, and it will require to look after not to eat up by these crickets. Crickets are most difficult insects in many fields of this area. They try to nips in the butts of these polmuls of this rice. I mean that sproutings of these rice germinations. I mean now to know. As a rule, one thing we know that now in others of these wells productions of these years, that ways in which ways to serve, in which ways to control of these which are very important to think about according to that of these agriculture departments by these experts of these authorized departments of their suggestion will be required. Now I investigate and I examine it very well. There are so many problems, the life of the agriculture of all the farmers, that is problem to plow. The rates of this tilling charge of these tractors also so high. Because of that, many times we cannot plow our field areas. That's why there are so many problems from government side. Will needs to have some sort of amounts either stats of this. Some suggestion will be required. Workshop also from time to time. We need to hear from agriculture's experts of our states, either state our countries, that roles of these primary sectors. I mean that agriculture is very difficult. Not doing so, we have many problems to face. The type of this agriculture, you know that now pamphal hunba. Pamphal hunba means sprouting rice are sown in water after well harrow either that of this well plows to pick up either that of this cleaning type of this, which called that hoof. These are the problems. Another one of the problems was that cactum, that also they're very dangerous in our farmer lives of the doom, not happening once again. Or that of the controlling about that of the cactum, that is also major problems of the farmers. That's why some of these weedicides, either that of the insecticide, will be required to supply by the authorized departments like agriculture, either states. All farmers are problem not doing like this again. They cannot control over that of this cactum, either that of the hoof. Please like and subscribe my channel's next video to see and to add new ones to look and to acquire knowledge in connections with agriculture as well as educations about this now.